Good evening, Patrick here, Eight Questions With, and welcome to Monday. That's right, we're here for a Monday. We're starting off a very, very busy week with a bang, as we are going to be introducing actress Kylee Nicole will be here in about 15 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes. Um, Very excited to talk to her. She's a fine actress based in Florida, and we will be talking with her about her career and she is multifaceted. She has a lot of talent. This young lady, uh, uh, she she speaks Japanese. She's into gymnastics. Uh, she's also into tumbling, which is sort of I don't know sure if tumbling is considered parkour these days. Um, she's into photography. She likes being funny. So she still has a ton of interest and abilities and skills. And she also likes flying. She's big into aviation. I have a feeling she has her license or she's studying for her license. But that will be one of the questions we ask Kylee Nicole when she gets here. Anthony is here. Hello. Oh, wow. Hey, Reed, how are you? Andre is here. All right, Andre. All right, thank you, sir, for coming up. The professor. I'm glad that you are here. That means you are safe. That is awesome. Marking the professor safe from the tropical storm. And I do believe I saw Echo there, if I'm not mistaken. There he is, Echo from the House of Horrors, who had a great interview with Steve Rynzinski last Saturday. If you have not seen the replay, Echo will grab the replay from the House of Horrors and he will drop it inside our chat because Echo was part of that show. And of course, the big news next Saturday, August 26th at 8 o'clock, the House of Horrors will be hosting Mark Polonia. That's right. That's right. And that will be a must see show. That's going to be a crazy show. I can't even imagine how much fun that's going to be. I will be in the chat. I will be looking for all you guys in the chat for that one too. That's going to be a hell of a show. Um, so next Saturday on the House of Horrors by uh, that's the House of Horrors will be there next Saturday night, 8 o'clock for Mark Polonia. There is the Mighty Ice Lord. Oh man, I know. Reed, you're already speaking my language. And my team kicks off. Of course, the mighty San Jose State Spartans battling the boys of Troy. Um, According to ESPN, we're supposed to get beat by 34 points. I don't think we're going to get lose by 34. I don't. I think we'll lose, but I think we're going to give them a. I think we're going to give them a game. We're going to give USC a game. It's going to be a lot of anticipation. The last season of the Pac-12, as we know it, kicks off on Saturday. So interesting. All right. All right. But we're not here to talk football. We're here to talk entertainment. We're here to talk interviews. Um, and let me tell you what we got going on for the calendar this week because we have 6 shows. We have 6 shows in 5 days. Six shows, 5 days. Of course, the one we have tonight with Kylee Nicole. Tomorrow night we have young special makeup artist and SFX artist Anna Monge will be here with us tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. She is a rising star, and we'll be talking to her about her career. On the 23rd, we have 2 shows. On the 23rd, uh, at 5 o'clock, we will be welcoming in actor and director Joe Cornett and actor and producer Alexander Nesky. They have made their first horror film as producing partners. They have made a movie called Night of the Caregiver, which stars Eileen Dietz from The Exorcist fame, and Natalie Denise Burrow is also in the movie. And of course, everybody's favorite, Eric Roberts, has a key scene in the movie. So we'll be talking about the horror films on a little bit on the 23rd with Joe and Alexander. It's their first venture into it. I give them kudos for venturing into a genre that they're not totally familiar with. Um, I think we'll be talking about that. We're going to be talking about action films too, including the Western, as Alexander and Joe have made a pair of movies. I call it the Rio Bravo franchise because I do believe there will be more than two. The first two have done very, very well. You can catch them on Tubi. And then, of course, at 8 o'clock, our regular time, we have artist Joshua Adams will be here. And Joshua Adams is a spectacular talent, amazing talent. I cannot even wait to see this gentleman and talk to him about his art. I'm pretty excited about artists, if you guys can tell that or not. I really do. I really enjoy talking to artists. Um, on the 24th, we have actor director Michael Menard, and he will be here at 8 o'clock on the 24th, Thursday, and he'll be talking about his new movie that came out on Bayview Entertainment, and that will be "You Should Have Killed Me," which is a loving homage to British gangster movies, a little bit of homage to Quentin Tarantino. Um, and it's going to be a lot of fun talking to him about making his gangster film, uh, a gangster comedy. Um, yeah, it's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a great time. And then on the 25th, did I tell you how much I like artists? Because we have one. We have another one. We rescheduled our friend Amy Kay, and as a matter of fact, she just posted on her Instagram page that she found herself a studio. So she has got herself a studio that she will be painting in and selling her wares, and also prepping them for art gallery showings. So we'll be talking to her, Amy Kay, on the 25th, mixed media artist Amy Kay. And then on the 29th, and this is what I'll be doing after tonight's show, I will be watching Dying to Sleep. Dying to Sleep. Oh, hold on. I hear a doorbell ringing. A doorbell is ringing. So that must be one thing. That means our guest is here. And you know the routine. You know the routine. Share us out. Thank you for all for being here. This is awesome. I got 7 of you here before showtime. Thank you so much. Please stay. Please enjoy the show as we are going to be asking 8 questions of Kylee Nicole. And here we go. Ta-da!
Can you see me or hear me?
I can see you and hear you.
Oh, hi.
Hi, nice meeting you.
You too.
I think the very first question I have, and then this is the one when we agreed to do this interview, and I was looking at your background. The very first question I have for you was, do you have your pilot's license?
I do not have my full pilot's license, no.
But you're very close to it.
I like flying little like Cirrus and Cessnas, so I will call in and get discovery hours. I'm not working towards my license, but I do love flying.
Is that something you want to do something in the future?
I would love to fly. It's just everything's kind of, you know, becoming more AI. And so I don't know if it's an area I would get beat out in. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah. You know what though? I don't know if there will ever be truly AI planes. Um, Maybe for the military per se, but as far as commercial goes, I don't see it. It's too
Yeah.
easy.
Even with
It,
autopilot and them,
no, too
I heard
too
they
be,
have
too be.
beds.
Could you imagine if someone actually hacked into it? I mean, you could take out an entire plane and based on AI. You could no.
Oh, wow.
There'll always be a human flying a commercial plane. And as far as fighter planes go for the military, I see them being flown by pilots as well. You
I
know,
did not think of it like that.
yeah,
Wow.
that's one of the things. That's one of the concerns about driverless cars
Hmm.
is that you could actually take over a car. You could hack into the computer system and control it. And imagine the havoc that could be played. It would be you'd be driving there to work, and you're in the back seat, and someone takes over your car. That would be sort of scary. Hey, Waffle,
Hmm.
can you see the chat? Okay, Kylie.
This is my first time using this.
If you hit it says comments. If you hit that button right there, then you'll
Okay.
be able to see all the chat.
Okay.
Ta-da! As our good point.
Join. Should I hit join?
No, you can just leave it there.
Okay.
Yeah. You'll be able to see everybody, and then I will feed questions to you from them. If they have questions, we can answer the questions together, or if they have questions, which I'm sure they will. They always do. So how was your day today?
It was okay. What about you?
Not too bad. Now you're based in Florida, right?
I am, yeah.
A nice hotspot for independent film. Um, you're extremely busy. I've looked at your projects that you have coming up. You have Florida. It just suddenly went crazy. A lot of projects taking off, getting off the ground. Um, how do you manage your schedule? How do you decide which project do you take? I mean, I know you can't say yes to every single one that comes through your mailbox, but how do you decide which roles to take?
I would say that everybody's different, and depending on agents or managers or who's all involved, there's a little bit of a gray area there, depending if you find your own work or you don't. I like to diversify. So I try to take on roles that I haven't been before. That's just my goals and what I'm working towards.
Um, I know that generally when an actor has representation, they have a manager or an agent or both. Most of the time, the scripts go through them to you. They say, here there's a script. We send it on over to you. What do you think about it? This and that. Does that ever go reverse? Do you ever get outside scripts, and do you take them to your representatives and sit there and say, I got this unsolicited, I looked at it, I wanted to show it to you to see what your opinion was, to see if it's something that you recommend or not? Or do you just, if something comes to you directly, or do you decide to take that on, do you decide to do the movie on your own decision to take the role?
So my agents kind of give me freedom to pick and choose. I mean, if it's a higher dollar amount or it requires like negotiation or whatnot, obviously I would be going through them. But if it's kind of like more on the low end, they would be like, just handle it yourself type or submit yourself. I do have many individuals who send me scripts or ask me to be in their projects, and they do send me their script. So in an instance like that, it would become my decision.
Um, so what do you look for? What do you look for in a script then? I mean, how do you decide what, I mean, you mentioned the rate. Is that the deciding factor? Whether, because if someone offers you a certain rate, do you have to take it into representation to sit, if they offered you like,
No. So I mean, you're not really supposed to talk about contracts and stuff like that.
right.
If I find it on my own, um, it's completely my decision. And so, say I get more out of a role than just money. So, say you go to um, any set, right? And you can ask them to take headshots for you, networking. It's a role you haven't been before. You can take on a role complimentary if you want. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
go ahead.
oh no, that's it. It's just for me,
Um,
it's diversification.
yeah, I didn't mean to ask about that. I was just wondering about that because I have heard people who get roles, you know, that are underneath, underneath the representation. I didn't know if there was like limits, like how much could you do? Like if someone offered you a role and they wanted to give you $50,000, and they came to you without going through your agent, are you, is that, not you specifically, but in general, does an actor have to take something like that to the representation for, like this got sent to me?
Mhm.
Okay.
I would. I would, especially if that amount of money is being thrown around, I would definitely take that to the agent. More so because they can negotiate on your behalf.
Right.
But um, that's just me. To each their
I,
own.
I, yeah, because I've always sort of wondered like that. It's like, like what happens, like, because I know a lot of I know how it's supposed to roll. They're supposed to roll like, they're supposed to submit their projects to you, to your agents and to you and whatnot, and then they contact you, and then whatever. But I was always wondering, like, what would happen if someone just walked up to you while you were having dinner and sat there and said, I got a deal for you, and this is what I'm offering, and this is the script. And it's like, do you have to, is there protocols in place where you have to sit there? Well, that's a little bit out of me. I have to go take it to my manager or my or tell the person, like, yeah, well, you have to go through my manager for that if you're going to give me, I just didn't know if there was a set in stone protocol, which is really interesting, I think. Has that happened to you? Have you ever been out someplace, and someone has recognized you, or people know that you're in the business and they come to you with scripts and saying, "Hey, I got something that is right up your alley. You want to will you want to take a look at it? Do you get a lot of scripts
Oh
in
yeah,
the business?
I do. I get that a lot. I even get people or individuals in the industry that want to collaborate, and they're like, "Let's write something." Like, um, you write it, write me a part, or let's collaborate. Let's make something. But I mean, you have to be careful with all of that.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, yeah, I guess it's a slippery slope. Um, so what Florida, like I said, I mean, Florida seems to have just, I know that Georgia and Ohio are really hot right now, but it seems like Florida is picking up some steam too. So, when did you decide that you wanted to become an actress? I mean, was that something that was always with you, or?
So I do think it was always with me, but I did not know. Um, I kind of jumped in during COVID. Like many of the actors and actresses you'll speak with, a lot of them jumped in
Mhm.
during or right after COVID.
Yeah, they did, didn't they?
Hmm.
A lot of films were made during COVID too. Did you work during COVID?
I worked a normal job during COVID. I worked actually at the Hard Rock in Tampa. So we didn't really shut down in Florida.
No. Yeah. Yeah. Was that okay? I mean, was it busy? Was
It
it
was
busy?
so busy. Oh my goodness, yes. Everywhere was so busy. Yep.
Well, hopefully you didn't get any COVID during that time. I know that Florida was crazy.
I was
Hi.
lucky.
Huh?
I said I was lucky. I did not catch it yet.
Uh, let's see. Our good friend MKF is here. Kylie seems shy yet humble. Kylie is talented. That's the word I would use. Can I brag up on you a little bit? Can I brag up? I'm gonna read some of the things that you like and that you're good at, because it really is impressive. I love the aviation. How old were you when the first time you flew?
Maybe. Oh my goodness. I do not know that answer. Maybe like 26 if I had 25 or 26 if I had to guess. 2015 was the first time I flew. So
What did you fly in? Did you fly in a Cessna? Little.
I, um, I mean, I've flown Cessnas and I've flown SR-22s. I don't remember the exact first plane I flew.
Um,
I have pictures and videos, but I don't remember. This is the first time.
but you've been on there. You must have flown a lot then, because you can't remember it exactly. That means you've been up there quite a bit.
Yeah, that was my very first time, so I do not remember.
Oh my God, I don't mind flying jets, you know, except for Spirit. That Spirit scares the shit out of me. Um, I don't mind flying jets, but you have to be a Baracus me to get me into a Cessna. There's no way I'm getting on that on my own power. Those little planes scare the poo out of me. They're always. I know they're much better. I know you rarely ever really hear about small planes anymore. You rarely hear. It used to be a regular thing back when I was growing up. It seemed like a lot of those planes are falling out of the sky, and you're sitting there going like, "Yeah, that's not going to be for me." But it does seem like in today's world that the planes are much more better made and probably better maintained. Um, I know have you ever soloed, or do you have to have a license in order to solo?
I have not. I'm pretty sure you need to be working on a license.
Okay,
Why
okay.
do you know the answer?
Huh?
Do you know the answer?
I was gonna. You know what? I thought that you have to have at least like a learner's permit for a car. I thought maybe you had to have that with a plane where you flew with an instructor, and then
Yeah.
whenever they felt like you were ready to solo, they would let you solo. Uh,
Uh-huh.
which is really weird because when you drive for a car, right, to get your license, you're with an instructor throughout the whole process, right? Like, you're going to take a driving test to get your license for the first time. You get an instructor for that. But I guess when you fly solo, you're on your own. I mean, they can take you up to a certain area, then you say, okay, now you got to fly, and you got to show that you can maintain the aircraft, and you can fly in route. You can communicate with the air traffic controller, and then make your little flight, and you come back in. Um,
Yeah, I
that's
like landed on my own and stuff, but I had an instructor in the plane with me.
right.
Yeah.
Um, like if something were to happen to him, you feel comfortable that you could land the plane, no problem.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I fly with you then. Um, uh, so flying is huge for you. Now you speak Japanese, right?
I mean anymore it's who knows. But yes, I did grow up speaking Japanese. I used
Now,
to live in Japan. Um, it's just I've been using so much English.
were you born and raised in Japan?
I was not.
No. So your parents were they military, or did you go over there on your own?
I went over there on my own. I just kind of grew up different. So I grew up speaking Japanese, and then it was my major in college. So I went to college over there, and I had a family over there.
Oh, that must have been. What was the culture? What was the culture like for you? Did you have culture shock?
I had culture shock coming back. It was really bad. But going there, I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, I guess coming back to America must have been a little weird, huh?
Yeah.
Uh, um, and you're into gymnastics, and it said tumbling. I was supposed to ask you about tumbling. I wasn't sure if tumbling is that a gymnastic term, or is that like a term for parkour? I mean, when you're tumbling, are you bouncing from place to place, or does that mean tumbling on a mat?
So tumbling is, so say I was a college cheerleader as well. Tumbling is, so say, like a round up, back handspring, back tuck, or a round up, back handspring full, or front tucks, like tumbling passes. So anytime you would see like gymnasts going from one corner to the other corner, they would do like a tumbling pass.
Okay.
Or cheerleading, if they're, doing flips going this, whichever way, they're tumbling, is what we say. So I guess it's just a term.
Okay. What college did you attend to that you were a cheerleader at?
Um, so I went to a couple of different colleges, but cheerleading, Mount Union in Ohio.
Okay. Okay. Yep, I know it. You're in Ohio. You know why did I not know that? I should have known that. I should have guessed. Ohio, like I said, Ohio's a white hot right now. I'm gonna ask you. I gotta ask you how you got to Florida. Um, okay, so you went to Mount Union. I've heard of that school. That must have been a lot of fun. Did you enjoy cheerleading?
Oh, I love cheerleading. Yeah, I did competition.
I know when you were talking about the tumbling, about what you had to do, I could actually hear Eliza Dusku in my ear from Bring It On. They're asking her to do that routine, and I'm hearing you talk about it, and I'm going like, that sounds straight from Bring It On. And we're like, man, that was hard as hell too. Um, uh, uh, so now, were you like okay, now as far as college cheerleaders go? I mean, do you do a lot of that? You know, like a lot of the acrobatics involved in it, or is it just? I don't think cheerleading is no longer just, you used to just stand there in the sidelines, but now
Hmm.
you have to do routines. So that must have really helped you in your acting, right? Because I'm sure you've done your own stunts since you started working. Did your cheerleading background come into play? Did they help you out a great deal when you started working in film?
I would say not yet. I haven't taken on any gymnasts, or I did take on a cheerleading role, but we didn't really do any like cool cheerleading that I've, done in the past. But that, was just like kind of like sideline cheerleading. I would say it has, I don't know the word. Um, can't think of the word, but I'm more like disciplined. So yeah.
Now you have you our good friend MKF has a question, and this is actually a good question. I'm going to ask you this: Are you related to Gregory Peck in any way? Are you related? Are you part of the
I feel
family?
like I just got asked that. Not that I know of.
Okay, you have to do one of those 23 and ones.
What is that?
A genealogy website.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they can find out. They can find your family tree for you.
There are a lot of pecs in acting. I'm finding that out.
Yes. Gregory Peck that I know of, and there was another actor during the 80s that was working named Josh Peck. Those are the two that I know.
I've heard of the Nickelodeon. Was that him, Josh Peck?
I believe so. I know he ended up doing a lot of romantic type movies and whatnot later on. I think it was like in the late 80s throughout the 90s. Like he played teacher types, or the handsome husband type. He's a good actor.
I don't know if we're thinking of the same actor. I was thinking of the new hit. What is it? How I Met Your
Oh, How I Met Your Father. I you
one.
know Oh, I would have to go look for that. I'm not sure.
It's with Hilary Duff. They were like 90s.
Right. Well, you know what? It might be. It might be
Maybe
him.
that's not his name. I don't know.
Let's see. Our good friend Steven is here. Hopefully, he is feeling better. He had a fun day today. And he says here, Kylee Nicole certainly has a nice scream. He saw the clip on IMDb, and well, yes, yeah, you have a very good scream. That was a hard death scene for you, wasn't it?
Oh, with on Seven Roses.
Yes, on your reel. That was a pretty frightening. That was a pretty frightening clip there.
Oh my goodness. I actually he ended up Rex McSeaton was the actor, and I actually brought him to Ohio, and he met my mom and dad because he was my DP on another project, and they were scared of him.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he looked pretty rugged there in that scene.
Like, I'm not
Um,
dead, okay?
I was sitting there listening to you during that scene. You're screaming. I'm going like, man, how come she's not blowing the bag open? Because that's a good scream. You know, like that. I don't think that bag can control that scream. Um,
It was supposed to be clear too. I was very disappointed they did not bring a clear bag, but
uh, Now, was that your first death scene in your career?
no.
Oh, well, oh, you've done it before, huh? What was the first? The way you said it.
Oh my! If
No.
I tell you the first one and you watch it, it's so bad.
What movie? Oh, okay. Now we got to look at it. What movie was your first death scene in?
It so it was a short, and it was center fields, and I'm just like running away, and then it just like insinuates that I'm being stabbed, and all you see is just blood come out of my mouth, and that's it.
Um, I think I can help you with this next question. Our good friend Echo saying, "What is Kylie's dream role that she would like to play? One where she doesn't die." Uh, okay, so what is your dream role? I mean, or what is your dream role, and what has been your favorite role that you've done to date? Because she's busy. I'm not even kidding you. You got like 18 completed projects and over 20 projected projects. I don't know how you're gonna. I'm surprised you have enough energy to be here tonight. But
I
yeah, because
probably
you're
have
busy.
more than that. I just did my 63rd project.
Oh my, that's crazy. That's
But
awesome.
that's that's very hard question. I love um, sci-fi. So,
Oh, I can sense that a lot of hearts just started beating a lot faster in the chat because because they love horror and they love science fiction. I'm just telling you that right now. The heartbeats are thumping. Uh, okay, so what science fiction do you like? You're a
like
lot
that
of fun.
I
You're a lot,
watch.
you're a lot of fun to talk to, by the way. Uh, yeah. So what science fiction? Now were you before I asked you about science fiction a little bit more about it? Now, did you grow up liking science fiction? I mean, you were in Japan. Now, how long were you in Japan? How many years were you in Japan?
I was only in Japan for about 6 months, and that was when I was college age. Because for my major, it was you had to study abroad. So
Okay.
I did, accomplish that goal of my whole life
Mhm.
at that age. So yes, 6 months.
Now, the Japanese love science fiction. You know this. Did you see a lot of Godzilla when you were over in Japan? Was Godzilla a thing? Was that your first exposure to science fiction?
No, I did not really see a whole lot of Godzilla, but I was probably 22 or 23 at the time. So I don't know if it was very popular at that point. Um, I did grow up kind of on like Dragon Ball Z and like Digimon and stuff like that. So I do know animated,
Okay.
but um, I don't really follow a whole lot. I mean, mainly just to listen. I mainly just watch like Borative or whatnot. However, in America, on that side, I Roswell, um, like Roswell and Andromeda. Whole
Oh,
bunch.
you watched Andromeda?
I used to watch Andromeda. Um,
Nice, nice.
I mean the newer Star Wars.
The new Star Wars.
I
Okay.
watched some of the older Star Wars.
That's so cool. That's so cool. I don't know anybody. I'm trying to think of I don't really don't know. Well, you know what? I take it back. I bet you our friend Snow has. I was gonna say I don't know if I've ever met any actor any women who've actually watched Andromeda. I think it was a
Oh,
kick-ass show, but I don't know that many people who ever watched very many women who ever watched that show.
I love clicking on all things sci-fi.
So if I
Remembering the titles,
uh
but for the most part, yeah, I'd probably watch them.
I'm going to ask. Yes, I agree. Steven's saying that you look like Beck Bassinger from Supergirl. Oh, you think of Melissa Benoist? I was actually thinking Beck Bassinger.
No, it's Alexa Vega off of Spy Kids.
That's who you resemble most.
That's what I got growing up.
Okay, okay. Let me ask our friend Snow here. She just walked in. I'm going to ask her if she ever watched Uh, you and me both, Steven. I'm gonna ask Snow if she ever watched Andromeda. She watches a lot of cool stuff, so we'll ask her if she's ever watched Andromeda. Um, but the professor wants to know if you ever watched Babylon 5 or Doctor Who.
Oh my goodness. Babylon 5 sounds familiar, but isn't that maybe like a book too or something? I would have to look at pictures to remember.
We can do that. I can send you pictures of Babylon 5. And Snow has also watched Andromeda. Look at that. Two women right here tonight watching Andromeda. And Steven, yes, I watched it
I
too for the Doeg too. For the
I
girl who
love the
played it.
telling of that.
Um now have you done any TV roles for any major series? I mean, if there was a TV as far as any shows going today, if you could guest star in any one of them, which one would you like to try?
Um, The Last of Us, of course.
Yeah, I heard they're rebooting that again.
That would be cool. I heard they were just filming. Oh my goodness, it's in the Carolinas. Um, it's like North Carolina somewhere. There's some famous show that they're on season like 5 of now.
Hmm.
They just did the film it, or no, season 4. Yeah, they just did casting for that. Oh my goodness, I don't know why I can't think tonight, but
Did you work today?
I did. I did
Um,
work, and then I
uh,
got casted in a play this weekend, so I just got the script. It's a 70-page script.
oh my. Do you like live theater?
I like theater. I never pictured myself in theater, but I got casted in a primary role. So
Now, did you audition for that one on your own? Did someone ask you to come down and audition, or did you do that on your own? Did you just decide to take on a new challenge?
I decided to take on a new challenge. They reached out to me, and then they sent me the script, and it's this weekend. So
Uh,
I get the opportunity to learn lots of lines and perform this weekend.
okay, I think Snow has got their series that you're wondering about. I think she's right about that too. The show she were thinking about is Outlander.
No, that's not
Mhm.
it.
That's not Outlander because I think that's filmed in. Is Outlander filmed in the United States or is that I thought it was filmed it here, but I think it's supposed to
Oh
be in England.
goodness. I'm gonna have I'm just, the Outer Banks.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
they were
yeah.
just
That's a
casting.
mod. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Hmm.
I know the show you're talking about. Yeah, that's a.
That would have been cool, but it's so hard to follow everything anymore with, Hulu and Netflix and all these different platforms. There's shorts and films on. It's just hard to keep up with everything.
Let's see. Outer Banks. Snow says Outer Banks. That's the show. Steven is here from the House of Horrors. Welcome in, Steven. How are you? Let's see. Outer Banks is shot in North Carolina. All right. All right. Uh, uh, yeah. Okay. So let me ask you this, Kylie. Let me ask you this because there are so many shows going on TV and streamers and everything else. Do you write them all down? Do you write them all down and do you like check off the shows that you think that you would fit in on? And then do you talk to your rep and sit there and say, this is something I think I would really thrive in if I could get on this show because that way you're not scattershot, like you're more focused, instead of there's 100 shows out there. Instead of trying to audition for all 100, you look at and you see like 40 of them that fit your skill set, and you sit there and say, I'm going to concentrate my energy on these 40 and let the other 60 go. Is that something actors do? Do you like focused on certain things that you want to do? Like, you know,
So I have not made a list, and that is a great idea. Um,
you can use it.
but we do. Normally, the agents kind of focus more on the different websites, so say like casting networks or Backstage or Mandy, whatever the casting sites that they're on. They focus and they, put their talent out where they think that's best. I do also get those to my email, and even though I'm not going through all the castings, I will forward him ones where I think I might fit.
Oh, good. See, I think that's smart. I think if you see projects that you know that will fit you and your experience and your skill set, I just think it takes sort of eliminates, all the chasing around for roles that you probably won't get or won't be strongly considered. I mean, things could happen, but to me, if I had a chance to like, if there was 100 movies or 100 roles out there, and I know for a fact that I could do 40 of them. I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, it'd be great trying to get for the other 60, but I'm going to go try for the ones that I think I have the best chance at. That way, I'm not wasting my time. I'm trying to, I want to start working now, and so I want to go to the roles that I think are going to fit me best. Um, yeah, I didn't know I didn't know if actors do that or not. I just don't know if they have like a. I guess it's sort of like a sort of like what they call it like a dream journal or something like that.
I would say one of our closest friends, not my personal friend, is Instagram. I mean, there's a lot of new actors and actresses that use that site, but mine is probably Facebook. I mean, if you just follow all the groups, you can see all these castings, where it's filming, how much it's paid. They give like the role breakdowns. So if you think you fit, or if you are looking for a role because you haven't been that role before and you can bring it to life, you can always submit.
Um, what do you think of Facebook groups for actors? Is that a I mean, what do you think of it as a tool? Is it effective? Is it helpful?
Mm.
Or is it just full of scammers and spammers?
No, it's very helpful. almost all of my Lifetime and Hallmark roles I've found were on Facebook.
That's
So,
really, you got casted off a Hallmark movie. What Hallmark movie did you do?
uh, I don't know how much I'm allowed to tell,
Oh, if
but
you haven't come out yet, then don't mention it. Or better yet, oh, wait, hold on. Let me go to your page real quick.
and you
What?
want to guess which one it is.
Well, yeah, because if it's listed on the database page, the movie, you could talk about it a little bit. I won't ask you probing
Well,
questions.
I don't work. But
Project Artemis.
they are very big in Florida, I would say, and a lot of castings. Oh my goodness! Even one of my most favorite roles, which it really wasn't that big that I've done, I found on Facebook,
That
and
is so
that was
cool.
Channing Tatum, and I can't think of her name. I don't know, and I don't want to get it wrong. But Project Artemis that was filmed at NASA. I found that on Facebook.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Because I've been a few groups with those because you probably saw I promoted the show and I went around the different groups and what have you, and I've always found like the private groups are the best groups because they're moderated, and that means of course you have to wait to get approved to post, but it's moderated, whereas the public ones, man, it's like a public toilet. It's like it's some of them are pretty damn gross. And a lot of them are just spammers and hackers and people just, no, I would never tell anybody to go there. But that's great. I've never heard anybody getting casted off of a Facebook group. That's cool as hell. All right, well, that's
Yeah,
good to know.
I know so many people that look to Facebook for their castings. And sometimes they do working titles. So they don't release the real title until you're
Right,
actually there. And that's
right.
kind of industry, like insider not very many people know that.
So we
Um,
got Hollywood secrets from our guest tonight.
no, but I have seen a couple spams, like individuals trying to, oh, I'm selling my black magic camera. My wife passed away and I just want to give it away for free, but I need your address and stuff. So you have to be careful for sure.
Mhm. Do you find yourself, do people, do they approach you like for roles, and I like the other thing I heard about some of these groups, the other thing I mentioned, the scammers and the liars, but of course that's the directors that they say I'm looking for certain roles. Oh, yeah, and there's nudity involved. There's a lot of those out there in Facebook groups. I've seen that. um has that occurred? Has that happened to you, where someone's tried to come to you and tell you what a role with that? Oh, you have to do a little bit of nudity.
Yeah.
How does an actress, more than actor,
Mhm.
how does an actress protect themselves from that?
I mean, you'll see it and it'll even come across in your email and it'll be like a question, they'll be asking different questions. But um, I personally do not take on roles with nudity.
Yeah.
So that's just a personal preference. I
Yep.
could do like maybe like an artistic type scene depending on if I read the material. Um, there are some actors and actresses that I know that they are so about it. So I mean, the thing is you have to look at the other side too. They get individuals that want to do that stuff, and then they have individuals that are, more conservative or like with their art. So, I mean, I think it's great that it's being asked. You just have to know how to approach the question with your answer, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Was Seven Roses, was that a Lifetime movie?
No. Mm-mm.
No. I know it wasn't a Hallmark.
Lifetime, I did Hider in My House, which
Yep.
was originally called, um, oh my goodness, it was something about a book. I can't remember. If you look at the last scene, and you read the book, that's what it was actually originally called.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, what was your first movie that you got booked into? Was it the short film that you did, or what was your first feature length role that you did? In your first movie.
It's a very complicated question, because I was working on this short, and it was my first short, that came to be known as a short. It was going to be a film or whatnot. I was in, his name was Adam Joseph Gomez, and he is a filmmaker, and he is in the horror genre, and he puts out really great content. But at the time, we were all so young, and just, um, we were all in this project of his that just kept developing and developing and developing. So by the time that was completely developed into, I can't even think of it, but um, it, help me out.
Okay. I will tell you the first two movies that you worked on. It says the first one was Come In, We're Open, and
No,
then
no,
the second one was A Killer and the Dead.
no, that's so no.
The, what was see the Lannister tapes?
No. Oh, I mean that was
That
probably
looks that looks pretty fun. Let's see. Let's see. Do you remember your
no.
character's name?
It ended up being called Sinners Fields,
Oh, okay,
but
okay. I got it. I got it.
before that
Yeah.
it was something else. That
It was. Yeah. You played
not
Chelsea.
Yes, I played Chelsea, and before that, um, it was called a different title, and it was freaking awesome. He's a great writer, but that was my first project. However, it was not out, and it kept developing and changing. So probably the Lannister case, where I played a vampire, or, um, there's another film that I did that's not out yet. I played a server. Those were my first two real roles.
Okay. Were you nervous when you got on set the first time?
I don't remember.
That's a good thing. You can't be scared if you can't be too scared if you can't remember it.
But I did, I this was a long time ago at this point, but I did a film, Hunter's Cabin, and
Okay.
that I had a role playing a wife, and I completely choked.
You got
So
stage. Was you? Did you get stage?
the
Did you get stage fright?
I was just helping out. It was my first time helping out on crew. I had more of an interest in learning the behind the scenes type stuff, and I was staying every single day. I was there all day. I was helping out on set anywhere. I was working on audio or just helping in general. I was also making runs to the airport and stuff. So I don't know if it's just because I didn't get to practice with my acting partner at the time, but I did. I very much so choked in that role, for sure.
I think that happens to a lot more actors than they let on. Especially the first couple of times they come on set, or the first time they have a scene with a very well known personality. I think it's natural. I think it's absolutely natural. You know, I mean, if I walked up there and I was supposed to do a scene with Harrison Ford, it's like, holy shit, that's Indiana Jones. It's like, Han Solo. What, and then here I am. I'm supposed to stand there and hold my own, and do a scene with him. I can understand how younger actors, even though a lot of actors, older actors or more well-known actors, they do their best to make you feel relaxed. But still, it's a natural. I think it's a natural thing to get sort of nervous, to get sort of scared. Let's see. I got a question for you. Let's see. I'm gonna make sure I didn't pass on a lot of questions because make sure I didn't. Let's see. Oh, Star Lord got a copyright strike. Sorry about that, Star Lord. Um, okay, so yeah, let's ask you this question, Kylie, because this goes right into the same theme. Um, did any actors or actresses or movies inspire you to become an actor? Was there anybody that inspired you to be an actress?
Not to be an actress, no. When I was growing up, there was kind of, I didn't even realize it until later in life, but I was in stuff. Like I was in like a Maid episode that filmed at my high school. I did like Barbizon modeling. I was on like billboards in New York. Like a whole
Right.
stuff that I had no idea about, and nothing had really inspired me. I would watch Sherry Appleby,
Oh, yeah,
and um,
great actress.
and director, and she did this show, that's all like being on set too, and it's great. And nothing really inspired me until I got on set. And then now, I can see it. Like when I'm watching TV or I'm watching movies, I'm like, well, how can it be different? Or, this has already been done. Like, what can we bring to the table now?
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Brene mentions, come on, to remember lines for scenes is bad enough. Yeah, I can understand that too, Brene. Yeah, I can't remember them all. And then Star Lord mentions that Harrison Ford is really a carefree guy. He never cared who shot first. Star Wars. Speaking of science fiction, what is your favorite science fiction movie or TV show besides Andromeda? Was there a favorite sci-fi movie that you liked as well?
No, my favorite sci-fi everything is the original Roswell, but I did like, of course, Third Rock from the Sun, which is not very that sci-fi, but it was very humorous.
Right. Yeah. Jeez, I missed that show. I never watched it. I
No,
never.
you should
No.
watch. It's very homey.
I tell you what I did watch this week though. I watched the first season of it. I'm not sure if you saw this or not, but I did watch the first season of Warehouse 13.
No, what's that on?
Oh gosh, that came out on the Sci-Fi Channel. It ran for 5 years, from 2008 to 2014. I remember the show when it came out, but I never watched it. So I watched it for the first time this week. It was pretty fun.
What's it?
It sort of reminded me of the Librarians a little bit though.
What was it called again?
Warehouse 13.
Okay.
I'll have to. Yeah, see, you got your look. She's got her book. She's gonna write it down. All
No, I
right.
have a wipe off for.
Oh, nice. Okay. So basically, what Kylie's saying by showing us her board is that she wants to know what you guys' all favorite sci-fi movies and TV shows are, so she can write them down. Um, do you like monster movies? I mean, do you like creature features? I mean, what scares you as a movie fan? I mean, if we were going to go with you to watch a movie,
Oh my,
What? Oh my! Are you a screamer? Do you jump in the chair and hide your face?
no, no,
Huh?
I'm a very much so a critic.
Oh.
Um, yeah, I know.
Uh-huh.
Um, I'm a writer, so I mean, I've got some horrors coming up, but what I think is scary, well, not scary, what I think is normal, other people think is scary. Have you seen Shadow Hunters?
I, I think they made a movie out of that, didn't they?
The movie's not good though. The series,
No.
well, I'm sorry, I don't remember the whole movie, but
The movie
the
was terrible.
series is very memorable.
Yeah, they did. I think they did make a TV series out of it. I'm thinking about the movie. I think the movie was called something else. I don't know if it was called Shadow
It's
Hunters or
something
not.
like Book of Shadow. I don't remember.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you watch Kat McNamara, she's an amazing actress. But you'll see some like effects where I don't think that is horror, but you ask a normal person and they're like, that is the scariest stuff they've ever seen.
Oh, okay. Okay. Let me go back and see if we got some questions here. Let's see. People. Okay, here's some questions about favorite sci-fi and whatnot. Star-Lord mentioned John Lithgow did the movie Harry and the Hendersons. That was a cute movie. See, Snow mentioned she loved The Core. Me too. The Core was great. I love that movie. That movie was cool as hell. Yeah, I'm a huge Aaron Eckhart fan. Huge. I have a lot of Aaron Eckhart movies. Let's see. Brene mentioned psychotics slipped out of the. Let's see. Psychotics who slip out of their wig type movies are fun. Yep. Sort of like a psycho. See, Shadowhunters was a series. It was a series spinoff of Immortal Instruments. That's right, Immortal Instruments. Oh God, that was a horrible movie. I think I made it through 20 minutes of that.
Well,
I
this series, Kat, like I said, she's a great actress. It's like what's her name? Shailene Woodley type. Like they're just really good at their craft.
right. Yeah,
Like they,
Shailene Woodley. She does a lot of good science fiction. She's not afraid to do it. She did the Divergent series, which
yeah,
was yeah, which was very good, very good. But the Immortal Instruments was really really bad. Let's see. See. Now we're getting more. We're getting questions about horror. Your favorite horror? Do you like the Chucky movies or the Halloween movies?
oh, I like the horror subcategories.
Like doll horror, supernatural horror, slasher horror.
Yeah.
Okay.
I,
So what's it like down there in Florida? Do you have to compete against a lot of different actors when you go out for parts? I mean, what? How much? I mean, I guess that's one thing about self taping is you don't necessarily see the people you're competing against,
Mhm.
but is there a lot more actors? I mean, do you know a lot of actors in Florida?
I do. The thing about Florida, and I'm assuming this is every state or everywhere you go,
Hmm.
but a lot of us believe like that everything happens for a reason. So if you were booked for this role, it was meant to be that way. And we don't tend to, get jealous or, not like somebody because they got a role. We
Right.
just move on to the next or just keep doing what we're doing. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of the same faces, and anymore, we have a lot of challenges in Florida. So we have like the OIF, TIF is brand new. So
What's
or
all that?
into
What is
huh?
what is OAF?
So Orlando Independent Filmmakers. The last OIF had supposedly over 500 filmmakers there. There are these challenges where they, you pick categories. So say there's a challenge coming out on the 2nd. So not this weekend, but next weekend. And they did 3 categories. So they did non-dialogue, horror, and I think it's romance. I'm pretty sure it's romance. And you submit, so you have to put a script in, and then you make it, and then it premieres. And they do a red carpet event, all of the whole.
Are you talking like the 48-hour challenge?
It's not 48 hours. This is they do 2 challenges a year, so you probably get about maybe 4 or 5 months, I would say. So once you submit a script, then you have, like 2 months to make it, a month to come out, so probably about 4 or 5 months.
So you got time to breathe. Have you heard of the 48-hour challenge? Do they have anything like that in Florida?
I have, and they do. I have a friend that did that. We were filming a short of hers, and then right after her short that we just shot, she was doing a 48-hour challenge.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
How did you now were you part of that, or did you just help?
No, I just helped out on her short.
Okay. You did
But
it afterwards.
yeah, she was participating. I was like, dang, and her set was amazing. She had like a red camera. She was like as a director on one set, and then she went to scripty on another set. So you bounce around.
You mentioned you're a writer. Like, what type of writing do you like to do? Have you written any screenplays?
Oh yeah, I've written a lot. I have a horror up next that I want to make or pitch. I have a hockey feature, a short. I have my feature that's in production now. We only have 3 more shoots left. So I have the Water Cities 2 script. Yeah, just a couple shorts and some features.
Let's see. Bounce back to the chat real quick. Starlight mentions he loves all the old school shit. Yep. Snow wants to know if you ever been to the Tyler Perry Studios in Georgia. Is that in Georgia? I thought that was in Georgia. Was it in Georgia? Or yeah, it is in Georgia. Have you been up to Georgia? Have you auditioned for anything in Georgia or Ohio?
I have taken on roles in Atlanta before.
Okay.
So I have been to Georgia, but I have not been to the Tyler Perry. What did he call that?
Tyler Perry Studios.
Studios.
What role did you do in Georgia?
It was on this feature, Michaela and Davion and Michaela feature.
Okay. How'd you like working in Georgia versus Florida?
I mean, I'm always gonna choose more so Florida, but I did just get off this set in New Jersey. That was amazing. So I don't know.
Okay. What goes into your writing? Do you like do you have a writing partner, or do you write by yourself? Do you write at home or at a coffee shop, at the beach?
I like to write by myself, and I tend to write at home. And sometimes it comes, from dreams.
Yeah, I knew that, Kylie. I sensed that. I saw the whiteboard and I'm going like, that's something someone like a dream journalist would carry. You would wake up and write down the idea and then go back to bed and wake up the next morning and see it. I'm not surprised by that. I see you as that.
No, I remember it all. My feature that's been in production, that was on my brain for over a year before I finally started, production. So
Now, do you storyboard? Did you storyboard your feature, or just keep it all in your head?
I I mainly kept it in my head, and then I wrote it, and then with luck, um, everything has been happening for the better.
Uh,
So
see,
some small changes, but not too many.
okay, speaking of writers, we have a published author that just came in. Our friend Jennifer P. Tux is here, and she has written many books, short stories. And Chadwick is a film director based out of Georgia. He just said his movie, The Butcher script, was based on a dream. Let's see. And Snow mentions she writes, and she writes. I write at 3 a.m. on my computer with the
Mm.
lights out by myself in my apartment. So Snow likes to do like you do. She likes to write alone at home. Um, that's cool as hell. That's really neat. What do you think? What's one thing that people would be surprised about you meeting you for the first time? If they met you for the first time and you told them about yourself that would surprise them, what do you think it would be?
Oh my goodness, that's so hard. Um,
So,
I mean, I'm such a loyal person. I feel like anytime I'm meeting someone, I just like have that little homie. Um, One thing I guess they wouldn't know is that I can talk to dolphins.
again, I'm not surprised. I believe it. I believe it.
I don't know. I tend to, you know, not make that awkward first like connection and then just like instantly just, oh yeah, I've known you my whole life type feeling.
Right, right. Let's see. Let's see. Jennifer says she's not feeling very good. Oh, it's okay, Jennifer. Thank you so much. You can always catch us on the replay when you're feeling better. Let's see. Yep. Let's see. Oh, now they're talking about Chucky. um, are you a big beach person? I mean, being down in Florida, do you like to go swimming? Is that part of what you like to do for fun?
No.
Swim in the ocean?
Mm-mm.
No. Too little scary out there.
Um, well, the thing that a lot of individuals don't realize is that depending on where you live, it takes so much time to get to the beach. And then also, there's sand in the air. I think it's more of, um, not to say more north, but individuals that don't always see the beaches,
Mhm.
they want to come and sit on the beach. I personally, it's not what I like to do. Is just sit underneath the sun and
Yeah, you'd rather be doing something, right?
yeah,
So, what do you do when you're not making movies? Which is I don't know when that's going to be because with your okay, let me instead of doing that, let me ask you this: how do you keep your projects straight? I mean, how do you know what days you're shooting for what movie? How do you keep track of that?
yeah. I have calendars. Like
Uh, do you have calendars like on your computer, or do you have one of these?
I
I
have
haven't.
old school. Yes, that calendars. Hmm.
Yeah, you can't live without
Also,
them.
I also book my work like that too.
Um, have you ever double booked yourself?
I have been double booked on accident without me doing it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
But I
how
always tried to find fill-ins.
that's gonna be hard. I mean, um, that's gotta be really hard. So, okay, so the average day for the average week, how many times just because I know a lot of movies are being filmed on the weekends, you know, is that better for you to shoot on the weekends or you like shooting during the week? Is it easier? And do you like doing a project from start to finish first, or is that the preferred way? It's like when a person has a complete project, complete sometimes they
I I lost you for a second, so I missed the last part of the
okay.
question.
Do do you like, I mean, as part of the problem about doing independent films, a lot of times the budget's not there all the time. So like sometimes someone will come up to you and say, "Hey, can you film for this weekend here?" And then, then you don't film for another 3 weeks on that project. And then you have another project that's just starting out. How do you, I mean, have you ever, how do you keep yourself straight and give yourself enough rehearsal time, memorize the script? How do you do that all because with your schedule to being what it is, how do you do that without losing your mind? Because I just lost my mind almost saying that sentence.
Um, I mean, as for learning lines, it's really easy for me. I do like voice memos. You can record them kind of like,
Ah,
and so sometimes when you're auditioning, you can go in the computer, you can type in another person's lines and get like a male's voice or put it into a different accent, stuff like that. If you want to get really technical with your auditions, you can do it that way and then just pause where your lines are. So I do two types of versions where I do one where even if I'm just using my voice and I alter it for the other people, that's if I'm not getting technical, and I pause where mine are, and then I would just say them. So when I'm listening over and over and over. And then I also do the basic version where I have my lines and their lines. And so I'll put it on the radio, like when I'm driving or just sitting around, and I just play it so many times. And I normally know the lines of everyone else on set as well. So the lines is not really hard for me. As for the parts, I think I kind of have a personality where I can divide myself to each role. Like I invest so much of thoughts into them, if that makes sense.
yeah.
So say if I'm, oh my goodness, I have a few upcoming roles. I get to play like a biker's girlfriend, like a motorcycle type.
Oh, okay. So you're gonna be like
Like,
a motorcycle gang girl, right?
yeah. Um, and then
Do you ride yourself? I mean, do you ride motorcycles?
I do not. I would love to, but I have not went down that path yet. But yes, it's the same idea of learning, you know? So you have to want to learn, and it's kind of like psychology and studying humanity. And so just putting your different studies into your different characters and also reaching out to gain wisdom. So I do not tend to go insane. There was like a week, I want to say in June, I had 5 different movies I was doing.
Oh,
I was like, um, it was only a lot because I was different. I was also on crew on some of those, and so it's just spreading yourself out. But I loved it in the end.
there's a lot of indie actors that do that. Um, I know at least, in fact, I think the, the girl we're talking to tomorrow, Anna Monge, she's a makeup artist, and we've had another one named Angel Bradford who was like yes, and she started out as a special effects makeup artist, and that's what she did. In fact, she actually did she actually started going to acting. She actually made her own model for her death scene. She took an imprint of her head and she made her own head for her death scene. And it's like how I mean it's like that must have been really weird, but she went on to end up becoming a very much in demand actress. And Anna she said that she's just got done doing her first role too. I think going forward, especially now in the wake of the strike or stuff like that, I do see a value for actors to not only know to do the acting, but I see great value in staying around and in helping out the crew, learning how things go, or learn knowing how things work. I think it's something that more and more actors should probably end up doing because you just never know. You never know.
Yeah, definitely. And two, there's always crew positions as well.
Yeah.
You might like. And a lot of times crew is paid up front. And so if you have bigger dreams that end up being more crew related, sometimes it's more helpful.
So what project that is coming up now that you got working up? What's the one project you're most excited about? Is it the one that you wrote yourself? Your feature? Is that the one that excites you the most?
Yeah, all of the ones that I wrote myself excite me the most, yes. But in order to get that made, I have to work.
Yes. Yes. Well,
So,
that makes sense. That makes sense. Let me catch up with the chat here. We are big. Our delay is really heavy tonight. I think we're like 30 seconds or 40 seconds ahead of the chat. Let's see.
everyone, I'm sorry, I'm not new, or I don't know how to.
No. You're not nothing to do with you. Have you done interviews like this before? Do you like doing press, Kylie? Is
I
press,
No, you are my very first. I have been given a lot of offers and I turn them all down.
why did you take this one then?
Um, because I need to get in front of the camera and my thing is writing. And so when you're a writer, it's hard to put your words into speaking.
Right, right. I get that. I get that. You're done fine. You're very charming. You're very. I mean, I don't want. I'm not being patronizing when I say this, but you're very cute. I really enjoyed talking to you. And the chat has really liked you as well.
Um,
Yeah. You're
I'm learning, guys.
yeah. So this was your first press. Um, what are some of the impressions? Real quick. What was your impressions of doing press? Have you ever watched how actors get interviewed? Have you ever interviewed anybody yourself?
I mean, I've seen it on set. I've seen like BTS, but like camera mode where they go around and they interview everyone. So I
No.
mean, I've been in some of the behind the scenes type
Oh, good.
videos to show how the film's coming along.
I'm very flattered that this is your first one. I think that's really neat. And special, quite honestly. And I definitely thank you for the opportunity. That's
Yeah.
very cool. That's
Thank you.
very cool. I hope you tell your friends that you had a great time.
Oh yes.
Good, good. Let me go back to the chat again. Our good friend Echo is sharing you out. Let's see. Yeah, a little bit. I think it's just it's. I think it's first time jitters. MKF mentions he says Kylie seems very introverted. I don't think you're introverted. I mean, I just think that this is a first time for you. I think if we came back 6 weeks, I think you would be a lot more. You'd be
Yeah.
yeah, you'd be a lot more comfortable, a lot more.
It's
Yeah,
the movies more more.
more. Yeah, more movies.
I'm gonna be in the hundred thousands in April with what I'm booked for. So yeah, in a few months.
Let's see, 100,000.
By April, yeah.
For all the, I mean, for all the projects that you've done. Holy
Yeah,
crow! Uh,
for what I'm
acting,
booked for.
yeah. Now, when you said you're filming your own feature, right? You're filming that right now. Um, are you also serving as a producer? Did you have to go and
Mhm.
make your pitch and where did you find your budget? And did you enjoy finding your budget?
No,
Is that
it's a passion project kind of. I wrote the film, and I've just been funding that myself.
wow?
So I just pick up work as much as I can,
And
and
then you use that money to pay for your movie.
I have had some individuals that reached out that they want to help. So producers on the side that they don't want their money back, but I would love to, work out a contract to give them a percent if the movie makes money. I don't think it's going to, but you know, if it did, just to kind of give back any I can because they wanted to help me out.
Sure, sure. I read about the movie The Sound of Freedom, and that movie was funded too by a Kickstarter. And I read that the director, producer of that movie, they were able to go back to they had like 1,500 people who donated money, and he was able to go back to each one of those people who donated and basically paid them back for every $100 they donated, he paid them back 120.
Oh, that's
Um,
nice.
isn't that something?
Yeah, I heard because they're giving out free tickets for that movie.
Yeah, I heard that too. I've heard they're I've also heard some things too where where they've I don't know if they pay for the theater or what, but I mean I've known people who've gone to the theater and they papered it. They gave out free tickets, and the person went inside the theater and there was nobody there. They were playing the movie, but there was nobody there.
Oh,
Uh,
dang. I've heard some wild stories just on the radio, but I've
mhm.
never heard like firsthand from anyone. That's
Yeah, I think well, you know what though, that's not uncommon. That happens a lot. In fact, they're doing that over in South Korea. They're after like 30 distributors because they are pumping up their numbers, um, making it seem like the movies are doing really better than they really had, and it's actually fraud. Um, but yeah, I heard that too about the Sound of Freedom. I was like, okay, so people are doing that. It could be someone rented out the room. They could have said, hey, you know what? How many seats do you have that you're showing it? I have 40 seats. Okay, so 40 times seven, that's $280. Well, here's $280. Run the movie, and then you report the receipts as 40 people saw the movie. It happens. I've seen it before. It's commonplace in live music too. All right. Last round for questions. You okay. Do you have any pets?
I
You
do.
you have a cat.
I have a dog.
Oh, oh, well.
That is,
What kind of dog do you have?
I have a Morkie.
Oh God, those are really cute. And what's your dog's name?
His name is Justin.
I'm sure. Oh, how did he get
I
his name?
I adopted him, so I
For
didn't have
you.
a name.
Um. So she has a dog named Justin. Let's see. Let's see. Yes, yes, very much so. Reminds me of the Disney thing with Captain Marvel. Yes, that's what they do. They do that, and they do that with music too. It's called papering the room, and that's when you haven't sold very many tickets, and you want to report that you had a lot of people there for his concert. So you invite all your friends over for free, and then and you hope that you make money at the bar, and then you just tell people how many people came to your show, and saying 40 people. You sit there and say, well, we had 300 people come out and watch the show, which you did, but you didn't make $300. You didn't make that at the box office. You didn't make that at the box office. Yep. uh, all right, boys and girls. That is going to wrap up for our first interview with Miss Kylee Nicole. I do believe by time we see you again, your project will already been done. You'll probably already have your pilot's license. And things to be going really, really well for you. We want to thank you for coming out and hanging out with us tonight. I really did enjoy talking to you very much. It was a lot of fun. I hope you had fun. Um,
I think.
and yes, you did very well for your first press. Very well. And you should be proud of that. Press is not easy to do. Press is press is hard, because you got to ask questions. People want to know about you. They want to ask you all these questions, and some of them get a little bit invasive, and that's part of the deal, though, right? Um, all right, boys and girls. Tomorrow night we have Anna Monge will be here with us at 8 o'clock. She is the young makeup artist I was telling you guys about. And then on Wednesday we have two shows. We have Alexander Nesky and Joe Cornett from the film Night of the Caregiver at 5 p.m. Eastern time. 5 p.m. Eastern time. And then I turn around and come back at 8 o'clock with Joshua Adams at 8 o'clock. And then we still got more. Still got more. On Thursday, we have Michael Bernard will be here at 8 o'clock. We'll be talking about his film "You Should Have Killed Me." And then on the 25th, we'll be talking with artist Amy Kay from Connecticut. She will be here on the 25th at 8 o'clock. Kylee, stay right where you're at. I want to thank the chat for coming out and supporting this one. I really, really appreciate it. It's been awesome. I'd like you guys' engagement. Thank you so much for coming out. And don't forget this Saturday, Mark Polonia at the House of Horrors. All right. And that'll be at 8 o'clock on Horror Freak 85. That's going to be fun. I'll be there. Me and the cheetah. All right, boys and girls. That's it for us. Have a great night, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace. Stay right where you're at. I'm going to shut us out.